And now, it's time for Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk hookup. For the next 2 hours, join Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Mexa, Corey Sandin, and this week's special expert guest for fishing information, new techniques to catch more fish, and the most current scoop on what's happening in the water. Let's Talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup, and Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. Get ready for the fastest 2 hours on radio with the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Mexa, and Corey Sandin.
Good morning, anglers, and welcome to Let's Talk Hookup. I'm Pete Gray with Rock Cod Rick Mexa. We're in the world headquarters of Let's Talk Hookup here right next to the San Diego landings in Point Loma, and we have a great guest for you. The surf fishing expert, Varney, is here. We're going to be talking all kinds of good surf fishing and some good Duracet from Gamakatsu, too, so you stay tuned. This is Southern California's sport fishing voice. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app and the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio.
You've heard all about it. You know the anglers catching fish have it, so what's holding you back? It's a fact. FishDope.com really does help you catch more fish and burn less fuel. FishDope.com is the only fish finding service with a spotter plane along with a crew of top anglers on the water almost every day that report actual locations and catches. You can get daily catch reports from Point Conception to San Martin Island, 365 days a year. FishDope.com is for everyone, whether you have your own boat, fish on your friend's boat, or a sport boat. FishDope.com has online planning tools, moon phase, tides, hot bite icons, and more. So bottom line is, if you don't have FishDope.com, well, you're probably missing a lot of bites. Membership costs less than $50 of gas, and that's for the entire year. That's right, 1 year. What a bargain. Plus, use the special code to save $20 on a new FishDope.com membership. Check it out today. FishDope.com. Catch more fish, burn less fuel.
The future comes standard at your San Diego County Ford dealers, so swing on by and check out the legendary Ford F-150, the smart and capable Ford Ranger, and the all-new Ford Bronco Sport. New inventory is arriving daily, and your San Diego County Ford dealer is here to help you build and order the truck or SUV of your dreams. Want to make sure you get the right truck to tow your boat? They'll help you order the right configuration to meet your needs. Want to make sure you get the right SUV to haul your gear on your next adventure? They've got you covered there too. Escape, Edge, Bronco Sport, Explorer, and Expedition. They've got the SUV that's perfect for you. If it isn't on the lot, they'll order it and get you exactly what you need. They want your trade, so swing by your nearest San Diego County Ford dealer or visit buyfordnow.com to see all the great deals. They'll be glad to hook you up.
For quality, the Islander out of Fisherman's Landing is a favorite among anglers. But Islander Charter is much more than great fishing. They also do incredible Guadalupe white shark diving trips, as well as a schedule of kayak mothership trips. Check out Islander-Charters.com. The Islander is San Diego's leader when it comes to 1 1/2 to 5 day fishing. Experience the Islander difference. Visit Islander-Charters.com for all the details.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Going to be a great show today. Talking some surf, talking inshore, offshore. I can't wait.
Yeah, good morning, Bill.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Hey, great to have you. And boy, I'll tell you what, surf fishing is on fire right now.
It is. It's incredible right now. There's some great surf fishing going on, and of course, lots of bait down there at the beach.
Yeah, and what's biting?
Gosh, big Corbina. I've seen some giant Corbina lately.
Really?
And you know, as Gundy has been saying for months now, the halibut bite's been just incredible.
Yeah, we hear about that more and more, it seems like, this year. It's crazy.
It really is crazy. And have you seen any of these pictures of the boats up in the San Francisco Bay?
Yeah.
I mean, these guys have
deck loads.
I know they've got 40, 50 halibut a day, day after day after day. So
yeah.
I think it's a very healthy population. Of course, they're very hungry, too.
Yeah, hungry halibut, right?
That's the way we like them.
Yeah, that's good stuff. So what's been going on in the world of surffishtackle.com and all that? What are people buying? What are people using?
People are all gearing up for the summer. Of course, they have been for probably a couple of months now. And starting back in probably right around the beginning of the year, I started working with Gamakatsu to test out some of their baits. And so we began working on that over the wintertime. And now we're coming into fruition here in the springtime. But lots of people are picking up, of course, gear to fish with, terminal tackle. And then this time of year, both artificials and sand crabs are the top bait. So that's been where the action is.
Yeah. So, Gamakatsu introduced a new line called Durasand. We're going to hear from Ted later on in the show about how they developed that and stuff. And you've been using it. You're one of the guinea pigs.
That's right.
Yeah.
They recruited me and guinea pigged me into testing it. But you know what I did, Pete, just to be safe? Is I recruited 30 more people to help me. So
wow.
We have gotten the product out up and down the California coast from the Mexican border all the way to above Santa Barbara, actually all the way up around Morro Bay or so, and have had about 30 anglers testing it now for about a month and a half it's been. So the reports have been coming in as to how they've been rigging it and what they've been catching.
That's really cool.
So forth.
That's cool. And so?
It's worked well.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing we learned was rigging techniques that, maybe we didn't think about at first. And the one that really caught my eye was drop shotting the Durascent worms. They have a sand worm, and drop shotting those worms, whether it's an orange worm, a red worm, or a green worm. And those have worked really well in the bay in particular and in the surf for halibut using that drop shot technique.
Yeah.
Because I was originally asking how should we rig these, and I said I would set them up in the Carolina rig, and a lot of anglers in the surf use that, but anglers who are fishing in the bay or near rock structure like jetties and so forth went to the drop shot and started sending these reports of 24, 26-inch halibut.
Wow,
so
that's cool.
The halibut been biting.
They have been. It's been crazy.
Carolina rig still the king of the surf?
Carolina rig, without question, is the king of the surf. I think maybe second to that is kind of a uni-to-uni connection where we have 4 6-pound fluorocarbon on about a 6-foot leader onto your main line, and then just fly lining a sand crab. Mm-hmm. Particularly this time of year when there's these billions of sand crabs at the beach.
Okay.
If you've got one with no sinker on it, and all the big fish are very close to shore, so it's just kind of rolling around in the surf. That seems to work really well.
Really,
too.
on 4 to 6 pound.
On 4 to 6
straight
pound
fly
fluorocarbon.
line.
Just straight fly lining.
Wow.
In the fluorocarbon because it helps sink and hold the bait down a little better, or just for the bite reason, or just kind of everything?
Kind of everything,
okay.
because like you said, it takes the bait down a little bit.
Sinks a little better.
But also it's abrasion resistant, and supposedly, you can't see it, but the abrasion resistance is what is so important, because in the surf, you've got sand and rocks and kelp.
Yeah, you're
and
just rolling around
surfers
and all that.
So it's rubbing against that at all times, and it's just great to have the fluorocarbon.
Yeah, and what fun catching corbina in the surf, right?
Oh my gosh, it really is. It's fantastic.
They pull hard, and they're just like so exciting to catch.
They're, one thing about corbina, really big fish in the surf, is they don't come and nibble on your bait or pick up your bait. They're kind of like a freight train on the way to some other place, and they see it along the way, and they open up their mouth, and off you go. So it is really exciting, because when you're on, you're really on.
Yeah.
And when we're fishing this light equipment, we're not 20, 30, 40 pound and on our Penn 500 and reeling it in. We've really got a fight on our hands.
Yeah, that's cool.
We're going to go up and down the beach, and sometimes, depending on what time of day, we'll have a little crowd following us around to figure out what we've got.
It's fun when it happens just during the middle of a surf, smorgasbord, when it's surf perch and all kinds of little bites, and you're having steady action, like you say. Then all of a sudden, nibble, and then the freight train hits. It's just that's an exciting, cool fish to catch.
It really is, and the population is so healthy of corbina. I mean, really from Santa Barbara all the way down to probably around Turtle Bay or so. There are literally, there's got to be millions of them, and they seem to get bigger every year. And these ones up in Santa Barbara have been between 22 and 30-inch fish up there in the summer, in July and August.
It's a big fish, like some illegal white sea bass.
Yeah, for real.
Exactly. You maybe wonder what you have when you first hook.
That's cool.
Yeah. So, surf fishing 101. You teach a lot of people how to surf fish, and you do clinics, right? Which you're doing this week.
I do. We teach a lot of people. I think we've had probably more than 5,000 people now down on on the beach at our surf fishing clinics over the last, I was trying to figure out how many years it's been, about 14 years now. This Wednesday, we have at Turner's in San Marcos, we have a seminar going on there at 6 p.m. Everybody's invited. We're going to have some raffles up there. And, of course, we're going to teach everything you need to know about surf fishing.
Lori will be your host.
Lori will be our host. Poor Lori will have to put up 80 chairs or so.
Yeah, I mean, I thought she won't realize the onslaught of surf fishermen, right? I mean, it's so amazing how popular surf fishing is.
It really is. It really is. I think, Pete, it's because it's very accessible.
Yeah.
It's not particularly expensive, and it's really accessible, and you can go down and do it for an hour or two and get your fix while you're waiting to go on your long-range trip.
Sure, yeah. So Wednesday at 6 p.m. at Turner's Outdoorsman in San Marcos.
Exactly.
Right off the 78 there. And they just show up.
Just show up.
Yeah, and so
what are you going to... It's free, and just show up.
And what are you going to talk about?
Gosh, we're going to talk about all the great things, which are rod and reel combinations, what rod and reel combinations to use, what type of rigging, how do we rig, the baits that we use, and then I'll have baits with me, so I'll show you exactly how to hook sand crabs and lugworms, the Duracent baits, all of those things. I'll show you right there exactly how to do it, so when you go down to the beach, you know what to do right away, and you've got a much better chance of catching fish and being a better angler that way.
That's cool.
So I'm gathering that sand crab's number one. If you can get live sand crabs, that's going to be number one bait on the beach.
That would be number one this time of year. So think of it like an apple. Like if you bought an apple in March, it probably wouldn't be that good because all of the apples mature up in Washington around the fall time. So in the fall, there's tons of apples. You go to the store, that's what you eat. They're very good. That's the same thing with sand crabs. June, July, halfway through August, there's billions and billions of crabs at the beach. And so that's the odor that's in the water, that's the food that's around them, and so that's what they key in on. You know, before we came along with lures, that was what they ate for a billion years.
Sure.
So, yes, for about 2 or 3 months, they just gorge on those, and then they get to a point where they're kind of satiated with having crabs all the time, and they're ready to move on to ghost shrimp, worms, mussel, clams, other baits in the fall.
Yeah.
Crab and go still got?
Yeah, crab and go. The crab and go for catching sand crabs is incredibly popular. They're hard to produce enough of them to get.
I believe that. That's why I was cautious in asking. Like, it's a really cool device for exactly that, for going down to the beach and making your own bait. I mean, simple and easy.
Simple and easy and quick and light.
Clip onto your belt, scoop it in the sand, let the water run through it. You got a bunch of bait at the bottom of it.
There you go.
There's really not much more than that.
It's perfect.
Yeah, and you developed that.
Well, I did. There was somebody who came to one of our seminars and had a prototype 12, 13 years ago and said, hey, Bill, this is something you might want to think about making because it really works well in the sand, because we always use these big sand rakes before that we'd have to carry along with us, lug around, and somebody would pick it up ultimately and have to chase them down the beach. So,
hey, look what I found.
Exactly. And they used to do that a lot to me. So what I did was I took mine and I painted it pink.
People didn't run away with it.
They didn't run away. It was easy to see who had it.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But the crab and go is just something you clip on your belt. And do you sell that on your website?
Yes, I sell it on my website, and many tackle shops in Southern California carry it also.
Carry like people. Now, do you guys carry surf fish tackle at all?
I mean, we carry, I would say that we for sure carry the basics of it, and we have a lot of customers that are really into surf fishing in terms of rigging and hooks and sinkers, and a lot of the guys that we fish, I wouldn't say that surf fishing would ever be our number one specialty, but for sure, I mean, we carry, the scented baits of a lot of varieties, and, bait holder hooks and mosquito hooks and all the rigging and sinkers. But I would say and Lucky Crafts for guys. I mean, anything saltwater we do. Freshwater we don't. Anything saltwater we do for sure. But, light tackle, spinning gear, jerk baits, all the small baits for the surf, and a bunch of kids that love surf fishing. That's our specialty. Is our guys do. They love doing it. Yeah.
And I'm sure Dana Landing has a bunch of surf fish tackle.
I'm sure the same.
So are there some specialty tackle stores in Southern California that kind of key in on surf fish tackle?
There are a few. Pacific Coast Bait and Tackle.
That's the one that came to my mind too. Totally.
Oceanside.
Been doing it for years and have contests there and stuff. Big Fish Tackle in Seal Beach is really well known for their surf fishing gear, their baits, and so forth. Ketchum Tackle in Newport Beach. There's a couple more up the coast towards Santa Barbara too. Yeah. But there aren't a lot that specialize in it. But most of the shops that are on the water near the beach are ones that carry the equipment and sometimes have bait.
Hogan's,
Yes,
Dundee always talks about Hogan's down there.
Hogan's is a great place,
Yeah, they
and
do a lot of
Stephanie
stuff.
Hogan, they have really good advice, and it's just I really like Hogan's, and they have live bait there too.
But again, I think that's the beauty of surf fishing is it doesn't take it's not like going on a long range trip where you need droves of gear and all this stuff and all this specific knowledge and has to be exactly this way. I mean, surf fishing is a light spinning outfit that you probably already have, and if not, you can pick up for relatively inexpensive. A pack of sinkers, a couple of swivels, a few small hooks, and away you go. And I mean, just that, or a little bag of Durasense, or a little bag of this. I mean, your whole day getting yourself outfitted at the tackle store is a $20 bill, and you are in the game, ready to go surfing. What other type of fishing that we do is that way?
No way.
Yeah.
Exactly. And, most people regarding the gear, as far as your rod and reel is concerned, I mean, they got a trout rod in their garage. And, I tell everybody, sure, you can go buy a $300 surf rod. That's, if you love it, as I do, that's great. Otherwise, just go in your garage, look for your longest, whippiest trout rod, put 4 6-pound test on a 2500 size reel, and you're ready to rock and roll.
And you're probably going to go buy that $300 rod because after a few trips, it's a kick. It's a kick. It's awesome. It's super fun, and you can do it. You can do it with an hour. You can do it instead of sitting in traffic on the way home after work. Go fish for a couple hours, have a great time, let the stress melt off, then hop in your car and drive home when everybody's off the freeway.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So now, what does Bill Varney fish the beach with? That's what I don't know. I know he's not fishing with trout gear, right?
No. Well, I don't. The thing is, it can be used as trout gear because it really is interchangeable. The light gear we use in the surf is exactly the same gear in many cases we use up at the lake. But I like to use an 8 to 9 foot rod, a light rod. My rods only weigh about 6 or 7 ounces, so very light, and match it up with a 20.
6 or 7 ounces.
Ounces. So they're
the
very,
whole
very
thing.
Light. Well, without the reel.
Yeah,
so
but I mean that's guides and handles and the whole nine.
Exactly. So it's amazing how light these rods are now. And it's really important. You don't want to carry something heavy down the beach, up and down the beach. We don't sit on our ice chest anymore and put our rod in a sand spike. We actually hunt fish and walk up and down the beach looking for them,
That's cool.
casting in their area and trying to find them. So I like a very light equipment. I'll match up with a 2500 spinning reel. A lot of good reels out there from a lot of different companies. I wouldn't spend a lot on the reel because it's ultimately going to get sand in it. So there's a lot of reels under $100 that are very good. And then 6-pound test is what I fish. And that's it. Carolina rig.
Are you putting Power Pro Spectra on it, or are you putting fluorocarbon on it? You putting mono on it? What are you putting?
We fish straight mono, and the reason we fish mono is because number one, it has the stretch that braided line doesn't have, and in the surf you need the stretch because you have these short periods of runs or pull by the fish or by the ocean itself that doesn't give enough time for your drag to kick in. So your rod's going to have to bend. That's why you want a limber rod, and the line has to be a little bit stretchier or pull the hook right out of its mouth. And then the other concern that we've had or problem we've had is wind knots that we'll get in the braided line on those windy afternoons. You cast up into the wind, and if that thing gets a knot in it, you're going to spend 10 minutes maybe undoing the knot, whereas mono just so infrequently gets those wind knots.
The only issue with mono, of course, is you get lots of twist, right?
You get some twist on it, but depending on how many casts you make, it'll get rid of that twist. And remember, the other thing is we're not making long casts.
Yes.
Probably 90% of the fish are within 50 feet of the shore.
That's crazy.
It's amazing. And some of the biggest fish I've ever seen are in 2 or 3 inches of water. I mean, I've caught an 8-pound spot fin where its fins, because it's digging for crabs with its nose, are actually out of the water.
Wow.
And gets washed back down the beach with the next wave. So they're very, very shallow.
Yeah, they're right there.
If you're in waist deep water, a lot of the good fish would be behind you.
Would be behind you, and actually sometimes when you're not even waist deep, maybe you're like knee deep out there, you'll be fishing, and all of a sudden something will hit you pretty hard in the back of your legs.
That's cool.
As a corbina gets sucked into you, and your heart will stop for about 2 seconds.
Well, as you can hear, we have a great show lined up for you. A lot to talk about, surf fishing and more.
Oh, totally. And the more part too. I mean, great fishing finally happening again this weekend. It seems like it's no surprise, and we all saw it. It was a tough couple of weeks with that little downturn, and boy, it sure looks like this weekend things fired back off. Saw some great fishing from boats over the weekend, those 40 to 100 pounders, limits for lots of boats again. So thank God, hopefully we're on the right side of that, and things coming back again. So we'll look forward to hearing that, the catch reports, and a lot of your questions, man. If you want to join us, we want to hear from you this morning. Give us a call, be a part of Let's Talk Hookup at 213-432-1090. Again, 213-432-1090. That's how you reach us here on Let's Talk Hookup. Or send us a text. We're already getting a bunch of great texts coming through, and keep that coming. That's going to be a lot of fun here on Let's Talk Hookup, because I know there's going to be some great surf fishing text questions out there. If you want to text in your question, that's only available through the Let's Talk Hookup app. Free download, easy to find. Also a very easy way to listen to Let's Talk Hookup. Catch all the archives. If there's some killer surf fishing rigging tip that gets left today and you want to go back and revisit it, the Let's Talk Hookup app is the easiest way to go back and check out shows or find a show that you missed because you were out fishing on the water. So, and when you do send a text, make sure that you include your contact info so we can get a hold of you back, because there's a really killer prize today. And if you win that, you are definitely going to want to make sure your contact info. Today, at the end of the show, we're giving away a full set of Gamakatsu Duracent baits and all the assorted accessories going along with it, including one of those Gamakatsu G boxes to put them in. The package is over $125 value for one lucky caller.
Ted
or texture, of course.
Ted from Gamakatsu put the package together, and it's amazing. It's got a waterproof bag, a G-Box 3200 utility bag, split shot, drop shot hooks. It's got shrimp and salmon eggs and sandworms and crabs and fishing pliers, those great Gamakatsu fishing pliers. It's a great set. So thanks to Ted at Gamakatsu for putting that together.
No doubt. You know, how we draw the winners now has changed some. Basically, everybody who makes it on the air today is eligible for winning the prize. Everybody who texts in a question that makes it onto the air is eligible for a prize. We pick one potential winner from each of those categories. Then at the end of the show, Bill's going to flip a coin. That coin will designate whether the winner comes from the caller side or the texter side. And boom, you got the big prize. So very, very cool. Again, if you want to get through, text those questions in the Let's Talk Hookup app or give us a call. It's 213-432-1090. And when we come back, we're going to be answering those phone calls. Lots of great info coming your way. You stay tuned. You're listening to Southern California's sport fishing voice. This is Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app and the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio.
Hey, everybody. This is Captain Dwayne Diego, 4-pack charter captain, here to talk to you about Parker boats and the good folks at West Coast Marine. When it came time to start Pinnacle Sport Fishing and get my own boat, there was only one choice. I wanted a Parker. Then there's a real good reason for it. The fishability and seaworthiness. I've been fishing on Parkers for years now, and I know the abuse they can take. Parker Marine builds a heavy-duty industrial strength boat, probably overbuilt, but that's what I need when we're out 12 hours a day, over 300 days a year, running charters. The guys at West Coast Marine built me one heck of a fishing boat. From the custom tower with steering and throttle controls to the backup bait pump system, my Parker 2520 XLD will deliver me to the fishing grounds reliably and safe. Take it from me. If you're ready for a new Parker at a fair, upfront, honest deal, you need to see West Coast Marine, located at 1555 Newport Boulevard in Costa Mesa, or check them out and their inventory and information online at westcoastmarine.com.
For your next fishing adventure, check Point Loma Sport Fishing. They offer half-day trips on the Daily Double and full-day trips on the Mission Bell every day. Perfect for novice or seasoned fishermen. Point Loma Sport Fishing also offers overnight to multi-day trips on the American Angler, Vagabond, Intrepid, Independence, Loan, T-Bird, Game Changer, and more. Visit PointLomaSportFishing.com where you can purchase tickets online. Want to go fishing? Point Loma Sport Fishing has you covered.
Safe travel should always include travel insurance. This is Bob Dawson at Dawson & Associates. We offer many different plans, from one-year plans to single-trip plans. Traveling twice or more a year, an annual plan will cover most every trip that you make. Also, if you get injured on a trip, it'll fly you back home or fly you to a hospital of your choice, and it's worldwide coverage once you're 100 miles from home. So call me at 619-990-3068 or go to safariglobaltravel.com.
Here's the hot tip on the best fishing LA has to offer, 22nd Street Landing Sport Fishing in San Pedro. They are home to LA's finest open party fleet, including overnight on the Freedom, Catalina Freelance on the Pursuit, half-day trips on the Monte Carlo, and three-quarter-day trips on the Sea Angler. For your own private charter, we have the Outrider and Trueline available. There's always plenty of free parking and a fully stocked tackle store. 22nd Street Landing Sport Fishing in San Pedro. Call 310-832-8304 or on the web at 22ndstreet.com.
I got a garage full of fishing tackle, and every time I get out on the water, I realize I forgot something important. But I never forget my life jacket. I make sure my buddies wear theirs, too. Save the ones you love. A message from California State Parks Division of Boating and Waterways.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Having a great time here this morning, talking fishing. Phones are lighting up. If you want to get in on it, 213-432-1090. Always such a popular show having Bill in here. And the thing, again, I love so much about surf fishing is there's so much to cover, and it's accessible to absolutely everyone.
Yeah, for sure. So starting off here, Mario from Pasadena sends us a text, and he says, Bill, is there one predominant shore feature that you look for when you're choosing where to fish and where to cast?
That's a very good question.
Yeah. Good starter.
You know, when you go down to the beach, and especially if you go down to a beach that you've never gone to, you have no idea where to start.
And it can be intimidating because just at a quick glance, it all looks the same.
It does.
Sand and waves, how do you pick that apart?
That's exactly right, and I think maybe to some extent that's why you see anglers who park their truck and then they fish right in front of it, because they just look and say, well, it's all the same. So there's a number of different things that we look for. There's not one thing in particular, although, if there's something I see in this group of things, that's what I'm looking for. But first thing I do is I go down to the edge of the water because normally there's a berm there where I can see up and down the coast, and I look for birds. And I look for birds not only in the water, but particularly birds that are on shore in big groups. Those birds are there resting, waiting for the tide to change so that they can feed on sand crabs, worms, little clams and stuff right in the surf zone, which is right where the fish are too. So I'm going to look for them. I'm going to look for rip currents, off-colored water. I'm going to look at the wave action, and if I see an area where the wave is a triangular shape, I know that where it's breaking, where the wave is peaking, is the shallow area, and then the sides of that are the deeper area, and a lot of times there's small little drop-offs on each side. The interesting thing about those drop-offs is not that it's particularly creating a hole or it's a place to hide. It's as those drop-offs are created by each wave, it washes some of the sand away off those edges and exposes food.
Okay.
So that's why they feed along those edges. And then I'm always looking at low tide, at troughs and the inshore trough or holes and things like that. But if I go down to a beach and it's high tide, I'm not familiar with it, I'm always keeping my eyes on the swimmers and the surfers. When they walk in the water, if they take 4 or 5 steps in the water and they disappear down to their chest and then come back up to their knees again, I know there's a trough right there. So as soon as they paddle out, I just go down to where they went in the water.
I never thought about looking at the shape of a wave and realizing that that's a kicker for what's down below the water. It makes total sense. That was a great description, but that just never crossed my mind. And like you say, if the wave's peaking right there, well, that's where it's the most shallow part. That's a great tip.
Absolutely. And of course, Pete and I, having surfed our whole life, we know that. And the topography of the bottom creates the shape of the wave. So
Bill, this time of the year, of course, sand crab is the king. Mm-hmm. Where you're finding sand crabs, is that a good place to fish?
It generally is, but the science is out on that. Over my whole life of surf fishing, there's been areas that I go to on a regular basis to catch sand crabs where there's more of them than in other areas. No fish there.
No fish. Really?
It's the oddest thing. And then
or they're full.
Or maybe they're full.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'm not, it's my sand crab with a hook in it and then a billion other sand crabs and no hook. But no, really seriously, over time, I've kind of found that where we find a lot of bait sometimes. And most of the time, where you find the largest predominant area of sand crabs would be an area where there's a bigger deposit of sand. So if you look down the beach and you see it go out to a point, normally out in that point is where you're going to find more bait than you would in other areas. And that's also true underneath piers, where a lot of sand deposits that's very soft, and the sand crabs can dig into it.
When you're walking the beach, and you'll notice that there'll be times when there's just straight sand under your feet, and then there's big deposits of shell and sea glass and all that. Did that have any type of bearing, good, bad, or indifferent, or is that just
it really
how the wave?
Does.
Okay,
it so does, because when you think about sand crabs, they're digging down into that sand. They prefer to dig down into sand that's soft, fine to some extent, and certainly soft. When you get in a rocky area, a pebbly area, a lot of shells, we find a lot. Even though there'll be crabs spread out in there, there'll be a lot less than in other areas. And the thing about sand crabbing is that as time goes on and you do it more and more, and all you have to do in fishing to be good at it is pay attention. If you pay attention to if you can still feel your feet, the feeling of the sand underneath your feet where the crabs are, you'll notice that it's a little bit more fine. It's softer there. You're not like some areas you walk on the beach, it's like walking on asphalt, and the crabs are not going to be there. So as time goes on, you'll be able to just walk down the beach, and just from the feeling under your feet, you'll know that's the place to look.
That's good info,
Good
man.
stuff.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Hey, let's go ahead and jump into the phones. You want to get through? We got a line open at 213-432-1090.
All right, let's talk to Roy. Roy's calling us from San Diego this morning. Hi, Roy. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, good morning, guys. Quick question for Bill. When you're casting, do you prefer casting like right before the wave breaks, or right after the wave breaks, or in the lull between sets?
A very good question. I guess all of those to some extent, but normally I will not cast in front of a wave. Of course, you're going to have a break on the outside, and then it's going to normally, to some extent, reform and then re-break on the inside. So if the swell is big, I'll fish in between the sets, just like you said. But in general, I'll wait for the wave to come in. I'll cast over the back of the wave, and then I will always slowly retrieve to shore. You always want to be tight to your sinker at all time. And really, as far as casting is concerned, don't cast only straight out. Use a fan casting motion where you cast 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock, noon. That way you're going to cover more area, and you're going to be able to figure out which way the current's going to.
Because the fish may be right at your footstep.
That's right. They might be right 5 feet in front of you.
Yeah.
And if you cast over them, they're not going to bite your bait. That's right. You may even scare them away as you're bringing your bait.
So when you're standing, how deep of water are you standing in?
I normally don't go in the water.
You don't even go in the water?
Nope. I usually am maybe 5 feet out of the water, or maybe my couple inches of water on my feet. But normally I'll be out of the water. If you want to catch these big corbina, they are very wary of anything that's in the water. And if you go up on the pier and you get about where the waves are breaking there and you look down at the folks swimming in the water, you'll see corbina down there, and they'll be swimming in a big circle around the people who they can feel their feet touch the ground.
Wow, no kidding.
So like sometimes if it's a medium tide and I need to get out in the water a little bit, I will go out to, let's say, my knees, but I will be like the statue of David out there. That's right. I will not move at all.
Interesting. All right. Very good.
That's cool.
Well, hey, thanks, Roy. Appreciate the call this morning. Let's head south down to Rancho Leonero. Talk to our buddy John Island. Buenos dias, John.
Hey, Rick. Hello, Bill.
Hey, John.
Hello, John.
Hey, gentlemen. Well, a good week of fishing. I'm sorry I missed you last week. I was actually out myself with Yusef Cherny and way outside of phone range. But I was disappointed because fishing has been extraordinary. The last 3 weeks, it's just been off the board. It really, really has been good fishing. We've got 82 to 84 degree water inside, and then outside it goes up to further outside, maybe 20, 25 miles off, it goes up to 88, 89. There's a band of real cold water. Not real cold water, 82 to 84 degrees.
Really?
Freezing.
Yeah, man. How do you deal with that?
Well,
my bathtub
with a spring suit out.
It's overall the water is actually cooler than normal, and so is the air too. Very, very pleasant summer now. We're in July, and the air's got to be 10 degrees cooler than normal. So we're really enjoying it. It's sure not hurting the fishing. The fishing's very, very good. A good, strong yellowfin bite for the last 3 weeks. Every once in a while we'll get 1 or 2 days where it kind of drops off a little. But what's interesting about it is it's very spread bite out there, anywhere from 5 to 50 miles off. And there's smaller pods of porpoise holding smaller schools of tuna. But by virtue of the fact that they're spread out, the boats aren't bunching up on any one big school, and driving the fish down. So everybody's running into these small pods and picking up fish. The fish are 10 to 15 pounds, and with the occasional 40-pounder mixed in. But loads and loads of pods out there, and porpoise holding them, and everybody that's going out is limiting on the yellowfin for sure. There's some big Dorado mixed in with the yellowfin outside, some whoppers, to 50 pounds. We're sending out 10 boats a day now, and we're seeing 3 or 4 of these big bulls coming to the beach, to the cleaning table, and some nice big Dorado mixed in. And there's smaller Dorado this past week as well, inside mixed with the striped marlin. Real good striped marlin bite as well, right inside on the inside banks, 2 to 5 miles off, and mixed with some Dorado inside. A couple of big blues this week came up. When we were out last week, we were chasing around a great big swordfish out there. And, of course, lazy guy couldn't get him to bite anything, We could have come up on the boat and knocked him over the head, but he wasn't taking a... But, like you say, outside the fishing's just really, really good, extraordinary outside. Inside the rooster fishing, not much pressure, Everybody's outside looking for the schooling fish, the meat fish. But the big guyos around 50 to 75-pounders are common. A lot of really big rooster fish. Down around the lighthouse and then around the inside of Rincon Bay is best in there. And they're taking Caballito. Inshore, again, hardly anybody fishing the bottom right now. But there's big amberjack in there, some nice parga and grouper as well, just right off the bottom inside. Extraordinary fishing, you guys. Very good right
Sounds
now.
really, really good. And a great time. It's warm. It's hot, but the fishing is hot, too. And that's the time to go to Rancho Leonera. Are there still spots available, John? I know it's been a busy July.
Yeah, it's been a busy year. It's been a good year for us, thankfully. Thank you, everybody. But, yeah, we do have room available. And because everything, it's really not that hot right now. It's very, very pleasant, so it's a good time to come down. It's going to warm up in August and all that. But I expect, because we had such a slow start, as you're aware, Pete, even our tournament early June, we were just catching striped marlin and got a lot of those, but nothing else seemed to be biting. But, boy, it's really lit up now. So I expect that to continue through August, September, through the rest of the season with the slow start. So good fishing, you guys. Come on down.
How do we get a hold of you, John?
Thanks, Pete. It's 800-646-2252 or rancholeonera.com.
All right. Thanks for that, and we will talk to you next Sunday.
Sure will. Look forward to it. Thank you, gentlemen.
All right.
See you, John.
Thanks very much.
Hey, we had a great text come through. This one was from Darren in Menifee. Question for Bill. I fished the Carlsbad Lagoon, Oceanside Pier, and Oceanside Harbor. Are there any certain beaches in that area that you find better for surf fishing? Also, are gulp baits and the new Duracent baits good baits to use as artificial, or good baits for artificials? Am I better off fishing with live baits? And then lastly, what type of depths should I be targeting this time of year? That's all from Darren and Menifee.
Goodness gracious, I'm going to have to make a list of questions. As far as depths are concerned, most of the fish are within, I would say, 2 feet of water, 2-3 feet of water, 4 feet. The reason that the surf fish aren't out farther is because they'll get eaten. So most of them are very close to shore there.
Does that include halibut, too?
That would include halibut, too. Wow. Halibut, of course, are all over. But, the predominant number of halibut are going to be found where you have structure meeting sand, anywhere you have rocks meeting sand, a harbor entrance, a jetty, an estuary entrance, right on those edges. Occasionally you'll find them on the open beach, but in general they're going to be next to the rocks there. And with diving numerous times, I've dove along the edge of the rocks, and they're actually laying right on some of those flat rocks. Yeah. They're not even in the sand.
Like on the rock itself.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. So I've forgotten all of the other.
What beaches you like in that general area, and then
what was the area then?
And Carlsbad, Oceanside, North County, and then also the Duracents and gulps versus live baits.
Okay, live baits are always probably going to be the best. It doesn't mean you can't catch a big fish or a lot
live
of fish.
Live bait meaning sand crab,
ghost shrimp, lugworms, clams, mussels, the things that they naturally sidewinder crabs, the things that they eat naturally in the surf every day. So just like anybody else, that would probably be the number one thing. But the ease of use for all of the other baits, whether it's the Duracent or the Berkeley baits, the ease of use, and also they work.
Yeah.
So you may not catch as big a fish maybe over your career that you would with a live bait, because you'll notice that almost all, I think there's one state record in the surf that was not a live bait. All the rest are live. So, and then as far as fishing those areas, all of those areas are good. They're all predicated on their conditions. So 2 years ago, right underneath the Oceanside Pier was unbelievable Corbina fishing. And then a couple years before that, right down at the bottom of the steps at South Carlsbad State Beach was the best spot fin fishing I've ever seen. As a matter of fact, we had a seminar there, and I told everybody, you got to go down about 1,000 steps, to get to the center. I said, everybody go down there. Here's a few baits, and I'll bring everything down in a few minutes. So everybody went down there. They spread out. As I started coming down the stairs, I see one guy at the end of our group, his rod bend over. The next guy's rod bend over.
How cool.
7 guys in a row had spot fins on at the same time.
Wow.
A big school came through, and they were 4, 5, 6 pounders.
Wow.
It was really amazing.
Yeah.
And that was in an evening, and then we had a seminar the next morning, very slow fishing. So that's fishing.
They were just moving through. Yeah, so a follow-up question to that from Jason in San Diego. He wants to know good areas in Solano Beach and Del Mar, which are very popular. And then also, can you keep fish from the surf, and where can you fish in those?
Okay. Solano Beach is a good place to fish. I have many times, if you can believe this.
Solano Beach, Torrey Pines.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Torrey Pines State Beach,
But Solano Beach in particular, where the lifeguard headquarters is, and the cement walkway or entrance.
Pillbox.
Is that what it's called? Pillbox.
The old area, yeah.
Many times in like November, December, that's when we're fishing the Duracents.
That would be Pillbox is a different zone, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they have a ramp that goes down to the sand where their units, trucks go down there. And at high tide, particularly astronomical tides around Christmas, Thanksgiving, when surf fishing is slower, the water comes kind of right up to the bottom of that, and I'll actually stand on the cement there and then fish a Gamakatsu bait or a grub right there. And that's very good fishing for perch there.
That's cool.
Walleye perch and barred surf perch. There are some closures. The Swami's area is closed in general.
To surf fishing?
To surf fishing.
Okay.
Yep. And there are some areas that are closed, so it's definitely something you want to go to the Department of Fish and Wildlife and just type in MLPA. They have some very good maps there, and you can zone in right on them and see what road it starts at and what road it ends at, and then just stay out of those areas.
Yeah, and Del Mar, Torrey Pines are all good areas.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Torrey Pines is probably one of the most popular surf fishing areas, right?
Torrey Pines is, for decades, has been one of the best surf fishing areas for Corbina.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, over the years, people have sent me pictures of how at low tide it creates these inshore troughs that are full of water, like a little lake, and then a sandbar, which has all the kids playing on it, and then everybody surfing on the outside, with Corbina trapped in those inside pools swimming around that they took pictures and videos of.
All right.
That's bitchin'. Hey, when we come back, we got a lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. We got more of your phone calls. We got catch reports. We're going to find out what's going on in Cedros. We got so much great stuff coming your way. You stay tuned. It's Let's Talk Hookup, Southern California's sport fishing voice on the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio.
The name that stands out among anglers is Fisherman's Landing, your top choice in local and long-range fishing. Hi, this is Doug Kern. Our hardworking crew will make sure your fishing experience is one to remember. We offer the finest open party trips from 1 to 3 days, the best charter boats available, and of course, our world-renowned long-range fleet is second to none. Fisherman's Landing is a full-service operation offering great half-day trips on the Dolphin and full-day open party trips on the spacious and comfortable Liberty. Since we introduced the full-day trips at Fisherman's Landing, the 85-foot Liberty has become a favorite among full-day operations with bunks for your comfort, huge bait capacity, and RSW fish holds to keep your catch fresh. Plus, Liberty has a big modern galley and 2 interior heads with showers. All our open party trips from half-day, full, or 1 to 3 day trips can easily be booked online at fishermanslanding.com or give us a call at 619-221-8500. I'll see you at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego.
Hey, it's time to talk about great gear from Shimano, and we're talking surf fishing. Let's talk about spinning reels, Rick.
Man, totally. You know, we get so caught up sometimes in talking about Stella and Twin Power and all these fantastic reels that Shimano makes, but Bill brought up such a great point at the beginning of the show in that surf fishing sometimes you don't need a Stella.
Simpler is better.
You're fishing in a very harsh environment, and what Shimano did was they have some reels that are extremely attractive on the price, but still very smooth and have great drags. And I mean, they kind of operate like a big dollar reel does, but easy on the budget.
Bill, what are some of your favorites?
Sedona, the Sienna. I mean, these are great reels.
2,500 size.
2,500 size, maybe a 3,000, a little bit bigger depending on the rod you're using, but 2,500 to 3,000. They're super easy to take care of. They're not bulletproof, but they do a very good job in the surf. The drags work fantastic. And all you have to do when you come home is just rinse them off with water. I take an old cotton sock, put it on my hand, dry it off, and I'm ready to go the next day.
We're talking reels that are smooth enough and you're going to get a lot of life out of them, but when they do go, they're under $100, and so you get your good couple of seasons out of them. Then when it's time, you go back and get another.
Yeah, there you go. Check it out at your local Shimano dealer. Cutwater Spirits celebrates those who work smarter, not harder, and know that enjoying a bar-quality cocktail is as easy as cracking open a can. No mixing required. We cut out that step for you. Made in San Diego with our real award-winning spirits, Cutwater canned cocktails are ready to enjoy, ready when you are. All you got to do is choose your cocktail, such as our fan favorites like our lime margarita, tiki rum mai tai, vodka mule, or mango margarita, or try them all. Please enjoy responsibly.
When you want to catch big bluefin tuna, you need Shimano. Hi, this is Doug Kern from Fisherman's Landing Tackle, the saltwater tackle professionals. The Shimano Beastmaster is the pinnacle of electric reels. Shimano's Gigamax motor packs a winding strength up to 250 pounds, ideal for kite fishing and more. Shimano's butterfly flatfall jigs are irresistible to bluefin tuna because they stay in the strike zone longer. Shimano makes a complete line of butterfly flatfall jigs to target your favorite game fish. For all your Shimano needs, visit us at Fisherman's Landing Tackle at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Having a great time here this morning, talking fishing, talking the surf. What a great show, man.
Yeah, it is a good show. And time for the catch report.
You got it, man. It's time to find out what's biting. And today, top anglers know the best hooks are made by Gamakatsu. But did you know that Gamakatsu also makes amazing tackle storage solutions like the G-Box 3200 reversible utility case? That is going to be a part of our killer package that we're giving away today. They also have great tangle-free jig storage solutions like that G-Box. Gamakatsu has killer lead heads. They make a line of fishing pliers, clothing, and more. For complete lineup, check gamakatsu.com at your local dealer, and hopefully soon we'll be seeing that Duracent bait out there because that looks pretty darn slick. Look forward to hearing from Ted later in the show. So we're going to go on with our catch report, find out what's biting up at Dana Wharf Sport Fishing. Talk to Captain Brian Woolley. What's up, Woolley?
Hey, good morning, guys. What's happening? Sorry I'm a little late this morning.
Having fun, buddy.
Yeah, good. Well, I'm bass fishing up here at Lake Casitas with my friend Fred Clinshaw, so I was a little late.
Cool. Must be beautiful up there.
It's gorgeous. Sun shining and the water is beautiful. So,
any smallmouth yet?
Good little. Not yet. We just got started, so
cool.
See how it plays out. But hey, for us right now on the saltwater, thanks, Pete. Just classic Calico Bass fishing right now for us on both our half days and our 3/4 days. The half day stuff up there off Salt Creek and Dana Point proper has been really good on the fly line baits. Anchovy, we have a little bit of sardine too for our live bait right now. Just Carolina rig stuff or sliding egg sinkers have been catching the majority of the fish. Some of the guys fishing the hard jerk baits have been doing really well on some of the bigger bass actually, which is kind of cool to see some of that stuff up zipping around in the chum. And then further down the beach on our 3/4 day stuff, bass fishing as well. No real big sea bass scores this week. That stuff kind of slowed up a little bit. Quite a bit of current down there off of that barn kelp, yellowtail kelp. So a lot of water moving around down there this week. Made things a little bit trickier. But still plenty of action, like classic good stuff for the first-timers and the kids, too. It's been really fun. And then over at Clemente, Marcus has had some good shots at some yellowtail still over there. Lots of bonito. The bass fishing turned on over there really good. They've been catching some real nice calico bass over there. So it's been fun to get some of that action as well for those guys. And that's it. We're cranking. Super busy. Reservations. You guys definitely want to make a reservation if you want to hop on a trip with us. So you can book online at danawharf.com. You can call our landing office at 949-496-5794. And then, we're keeping tabs on that tuna that's just lurking. The boardroom, Todd coming home from Clemente yesterday, saw some fish at 6 miles from Dana Point yesterday. So that was late in the afternoon.
Wow.
In the wind. So we'll see how that stuff, we'll just keep tabs on it. And then there's that Dorado, too, on some kelp. So we'll probably have some boats out there looking at some of that stuff this week. So, That's us.
I think it's going to be a great end of July, August, September, man. It's going to be game on. The weather's going to lay down. All going to be good. Right, Brian?
It definitely feels like it's breaking loose.
Yeah, for sure.
Right there. So, you guys, again, want to hop on a boat, call us at the landing here, 949-496-5794. Check us out, DanaWharf.com.
Awesome. As always, a great report, Willie. Appreciate that very much. And we'll look forward to talking to you next week. And good luck hammering on the bass there on the tap water.
Yeah, I'm going to make the cast right now as soon as I hang up the phone.
All right, buddy. Go get him.
Okay. Catch you later.
Willie. All right. Well, hey, let's continue on with our catch report. Head on down to the island. We're going to Cedros and finding out what's going on at Cedros Sport Fishing with our man, Jeff Flowers. What's up, Jeff?
Good morning, gentlemen. How are we doing?
Doing great. Good morning.
Yeah, we got a great report from a couple of our listeners that were on our Let's Talk Hookup trip yesterday. Dave Dolan and then the big sea bass bite.
That was cool.
Yeah, that was really cool.
That was a fun story to hear.
Sounds like they had a great trip.
Yeah, I should have had Dave call in today and give the report, right?
Yeah, he did a good one yesterday for sure.
That's what I hear. So you kind of just top on what Dave said is fishing down there right now is phenomenal. Surface iron fishing is it's crazy. Guys are getting limits by 8:30 again in the morning, coming back in, unloading their fish, going back out and targeting different species. We've got a great calico bite going. If you're looking at the Rosie's Facebook page on Cedros Sport Fishing, you'll see some of the great pictures that customers are sending in. The smiles aren't fake; those are real smiles, real happy people that are going down there.
Lots of good fish.
And, the variety. Rosie just showed me some pictures last night before we hit the sack, and she said, look, what the guys are catching just below the stairs at the lodge from the beach. Not that you don't get enough fishing already during the day, but they're catching halibut and croaker and some other stuff right underneath the lodge. So, it's fishing at the island right now is phenomenal. The weather is fantastic. Both lodges are up and running very well. And, we're just expecting another great season. And we still have some openings. Believe that.
I can't believe it.
Cool.
Yeah, well, if somebody wants to go fishing at Cedros Sport Fishing, the only place you should book on Cedros Island, Cedros Sport Fishing. How do we get a hold of Rosie?
Oh, super easy. She's always answering her phone. Sometimes I wonder why she answers at 8, 9:30, 10 o'clock at night.
It's like, Rosie, stop that.
Yeah, well, but you can't slow down the machine. She is. She's the best at what she does for sure.
No doubt about that.
Best way to get a hold of her is 619-772-7570. Or you can go onto the website at cedrosportfishing.com and make sure it's just cedrosportfishing.com. There's some other people down there that are plagiarizing names. And get a hold of Rosie. And if you're not talking to her, you're talking to the wrong group.
There's no doubt about that. Yeah, for sure. So, hey, thanks, Jeff. Appreciate that very much. And, hey, we'll talk to you next Sunday.
Yeah, one last thing real quick. We have the Yellowtail tournament coming up down there. There is one spot left open. It happens to be on my boat, and one of the people that were going to be on the trip had to take off for family reasons. So if you're thinking you want to go, you want to have a blast, you want to fish hard, you want a chance to win in a tournament. Right now I think there's over 30 boats or 30 teams that are signed up.
Wow.
And
cool.
I'd love to have you come down and jump on a team that's wanting to go out and see if we can get our name up on the scoreboard again. And
who's your captain, Jeff?
Captain Javier.
Oh, you
fishing
got
with the master.
man.
Yeah.
So a spot left to fish with you and the master, Captain Javier, huh?
Yeah, on that nice big 30-foot pongo with the bow that it's flat as a lake and big enough for 4 people to fish from. So,
wow.
If you want to go, think about going, give Rosie a call, get on that trip. We're going to have a blast. We're going to have so much fun. The island itself, when they do the tournament, it turns into a big production for the people on the island. All the fish that's caught are all donated to the people of the island. There's a giant fish fry. It's a come as you are type of thing, real relaxed. People are all over the beach. They're all over downtown if you've been down there before.
How fun.
Kids are swimming in the water. Boats are coming up on the beach to unload their fish. It is It is absolutely, without a doubt, one of the most funnest experiences I've ever had fishing in general. And getting to be a part of that Cedros vibe down there and having a chance to fish on the best lodge on the island, or lodges now, and come on down.
Man, that's cool. You got me fired up, Jeff. That sounds great.
All right, Jeff, and of course, just call Rosie. You want to grab that spot, and appreciate that report, and we'll talk to you next Sunday.
You got it. Talk to you guys soon.
All right, a little bonus report from Captain Benny Florentino from Coastal Charters. Good morning, Benny.
Hey, good morning, guys. Bill, Pete, Ricky.
What's up, Ben?
Hey, Benny.
Hey, I actually have the day off today and the next few because I'm under the weather. So I figured I'd give you a call. You know, I was out the other day with my son Matt from AFCO, and he had to get some photos of some new product that I can't talk about that'll be introduced in the podcast. But I'm telling you guys, the product from footwear to some other stuff, the angler's going to really, really enjoy, and we put that stuff to use on that San Clemente Island Calico Bass. I had a couple days last week where we fished San Clemente. Weather was beautiful. Water temp 69 to 70. Good current, and very willing calico bass that want to bite any kind of lure. We started in the front because you can literally catch calicos from 1 to 5 pounds on the A rig and get 100 bass, and then you can move to the kelp when the current switches and start targeting that bigger stuff, that 6, 7, 8. I had one of my guests get one over 7 on a surface iron. Jeez. But we saw clouds of like 8s and 9s, just Chester's Rock type scenario come up. And you're getting them on a number of different lures, from a weedless bait, surface iron. And I was throwing this big glide bait that a friend, Donald Souther, made me. And it was just getting, literally the fish were knocking it out of the water. Whoa. It is just phenomenal.
Wow.
But the weather was great going over. The last time I went there, it was a little wet, but, you know, I had my great AFCO rain gear to keep me nice and dry. I felt for the guys that were wearing some other product because they were soaked. But water temp looks good. Water between the islands looked incredible. A lot of life out there, a lot of bait. Did not see any tuna. We ran through the mackerel bank and, had our gear tied on just in case we came by a foamer or fish, but we didn't. Yellowtail, there's lots of yellowtail on the island. The front side seems to have the smaller grade, that 10 to 18 pound stuff, and then as you work up west, it's the bigger stuff, that 20 to 30 pound brutes, like real thick stuff, and good schools of them. They just wouldn't eat the jig right away. I'm sure if we had chum and got them fired up, they probably would have ate it, but we had a couple swipe the jigs. But just wanted to just call in, haven't called in a while, listening to your report while I'm laying here recovering. But and then the week before, I was actually towed my Ranger all the way to Bahia, Los Angeles with BD Outdoors. We're doing a project for Mercury Marine at BD Outdoors with Mike Berciano and his crew. And let me tell you, it is hot down there.
How was the fishing?
The fishing was okay. But our last day, we had phenomenal cabrilla fishing at LaGuardia. They were biting that current Sniper 170 in pink and bone really, really, really well. And we had wide open fishing on, cabrilla from 8 to 20 pounds. I mean, nonstop. And you could throw anything at them. We're getting them on the jerk baits. I was getting them on my big glide bait, surface iron. It really didn't matter when they were going. So we had a great time. You're down there in Bahia, Los Angeles, and you want to fish with a great guide. Now, I towed my boat, but he was kind of our guide on his panga. Joel down there, a great captain, very informative. But the people down there in Bahia are awesome. The hotel we stayed at, phenomenal. And you guys will enjoy it because they serve Florida Caña and Havana Club at the bar.
Ah, perfect.
You're right.
Perfect. And do they have air conditioning?
Absolutely.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing.
But anyways, thanks, guys, for letting me chime in.
All right, cool, well, get well, Benny, and great for the report. It sounds like Clemente is a place to go. If somebody wants to fish with Coastal Charters, you have any spots available this summer?
I have nothing available till September.
Well,
that's Benny.
The way things look right. The way things look right now, it could go into October, maybe even into November. I'm predicting, so it's kind of late.
Right.
But if they want to reach me, 310-779-0397, fishcoastalcharters.com. Thanks, guys. Listen to the rest of the show. And awesome show, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Benny. That's awesome. Hey, when we come back, we're going to have a lot. We're going to continue with our catch report. We're going to check in with our surf guru, Gundy Gunderson. We're going to talk to Ted from Gamakatsu. We got so much more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. You stay tuned. It's Let's Talk Hookup, Southern California's sport fishing voice on the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio.
Here's John Ireland for Rancho Leonero.
The ranch is small, it's very personal, very intimate. I don't think there's anywhere else that you could have the old Baja feel and have all the miles of beachfront, the palapa roofs and the stone walls. There's not a room that you don't have some kind of ocean view. You don't give up any amenities at the ranch. It's just very rustic. You know how when you cook outdoors it tastes better? Well, that's Rancho Leonero. It just tastes better. We have paddle boards, we've got kayaks, we've got snorkeling equipment, of course. We've got 12 super pongas. We have dive trips. We've got over 40 kayaks at the hotel. We've got all accurate equipment, very top of the line. And when the fishing's good, we'll freeze your fish, pack it all up, send it home with you. People love it. They'll come back 5-6 times a year. That's the highest accolade we can get. 1-800-646-2252. 646-BAHA. And RanchoLandAero.com. It's unique.
Seasoned long-range fishermen know that the Red Rooster 3 is the finest fishing vessels in terms of technology, design, speed, comfort, and safety. This 105-foot sport fishing yacht meets every demand for comfort while delivering an unforgettable fishing vacation. Captain Andy Cates and crew are experienced, friendly, and sincere in their desire to help you have the trip of a lifetime. Book a trip on the Red Rooster 3, and you'll be back. Trips go fast. So check redrooster3.com or call Lee Palm Sport Fisheries at 619-224-3857.
The future comes standard at your San Diego County Ford dealers, so swing on by and check out the legendary Ford F-150, the smart and capable Ford Ranger, and the all-new Ford Bronco Sport. New inventory is arriving daily, and your San Diego County Ford dealer is here to help you build and order the truck or SUV of your dreams. Want to make sure you get the right truck to tow your boat? They'll help you order the right configuration to meet your needs. Want to make sure you get the right SUV to haul your gear on your next adventure? They've got you covered there too. Escape, Edge, Bronco Sport, Explorer, and Expedition. They've got the SUV that's perfect for you. If it isn't on the lot, they'll order it and get you exactly what you need. They want your trade, so swing by your nearest San Diego County Ford dealer or visit buyfordnow.com to see all the great deals. They'll be glad to hook you up.
One of the dream trips for most anglers is Alaska. There are so many lodges. How do you make a choice? It's easy. Choose the one most Let's Talk Hookup listeners return to time after time. Kingfisher Charters in Sitka, Alaska. No one does it better than Kingfisher Charters. They offer the best service, the most comfortable accommodations, fantastic food, and the finest charter captains in Sitka. All for the ultimate value. One visit and you will understand why nobody beats Kingfisher Charters. Sitka is famous for some of the best runs of salmon in Alaska. And if giant Alaskan halibut is your target, the expert captains at Kingfisher Charters know the hot spots and can put you on a fish of a lifetime. Plenty of rockfish and huge lingcod are there too. And when it comes to fish processing, the best in Alaska is Kingfisher Charters. It's all included in your package. In fact, everything is included except tips. It is truly amazing how the Kingfisher crew continues the quality of service they deliver year after year. Kingfisher Charters, 800-727-6136 or check kingfishercharters.com.
Cutwater Spirits celebrates those who work smarter, not harder, and know that enjoying a bar-quality cocktail is as easy as cracking open a can. No mixing required. We cut out that step for you. Made in San Diego with our real award-winning spirits, Cutwater canned cocktails are ready to enjoy, ready when you are. All you got to do is choose your cocktail, such as our fan favorites like our lime margarita, tiki rum mai tai, vodka mule, or mango margarita, or try them all. Please enjoy responsibly.